has a cyclical quality to it, that in every ending is a new beginning. In every new beginning is an ending of something that was. And if we look at nature, and even the sun rises and the sun sets, that every time the sun rises every morning, there's an ending of that night. Every time that the sun sets, there's an ending of that day, as there's a beginning of the night. So there's this cyclical quality to time, that it begins, it ends, it rises, it falls. And when we resist this cyclical quality of time, we may start to experience unnecessary suffering. And so we start to look at those times when we want to stop and we want to change things from any way of how they are and hold back from what's actually happening. And in those times, may we pause and allow a cycle to end so that we can move into a cycle to come. That if we're always stuck on how it was and how it used to be, we withhold receiving the gifts of the next cycle, the gifts of what life and future is bringing us, compared to if we allow for a cycle in our life, an experience, a job, a relationship. If we allow it to end, now we're going to move into the next cycle. And as we move into the next cycle, then we're open and ready to receive the gifts of the next cycle. The same thing happens with seasons, that in time we experience a summer season, an autumn season, winter season, spring season. And there's no season that's better than another. It's simply part of the cycle. And when we let go of whatever the current cycle was, then we allow the opportunity to step into the cycle that is to come. So this is an important reminder that everything in time changes. Everything that begins in time will end in time. That is the nature of time, the nature of reality. So we have to notice when we're so stuck and so holding on to how it was in a previous cycle. The more our energy is focused on how it was and not wanting it to change from the previous cycle, the gifts of the future or the gifts of the current cycle cannot be given to us. We are creating a block to receiving the abundance and the growth and the expansion that is for us. So it's so important to really look at this in our interplay with cycles and how accepting we are of things changing in time and moving in time and evolving in time. That if we always want things to be how they've always been, that is a complete recipe for suffering. That's all it will bring. Yet, if we allow the past to be the past and we always look back to the past with gratitude, that all those previous cycles, all the seasons we went through, all the years we went through, all the experiences we went through, every single day we had the gift to go through, those were all cycles. And every season, every year, every day, there was a death. There was a death of who we were, and there was a rebirth of who we are every single day. And as we honor that process and we look back, and the only relevant state as we look back is to experience gratitude. Because all of it, those hundreds and hundreds and thousands of days and years, depending on how many years we've been here, all of that brought us to this moment. So we look back on the past cycles, the only relevant state to have an expansive experience now is to extend gratitude. And then here we are in this moment with this future that is unwritten, and knowing that we are the contributor to what reality we're creating right now and coming. So as we look forward and as we consciously create this moment and we consciously create our life, the only action that's relevant going forward is surrendered optimism. That we surrender, that we allow the next cycle to start to proceed with full release of whatever was. And that in that allowance of what's to come, now we can receive the gifts. We have space to receive the gifts of this moment, of this abundance, of where we're headed to. compared to if we're so worried on how it was, or we're even just so worried about all the details of how the next cycle is going to work out, that's then restricting us from receiving the gifts of time, the gifts of the current cycle now. So as we all experience every single day a new beginning of who we are, a death of who we were yesterday, that this process of time as a cycle is so beautiful. And may we not look at it with fear, that there's nothing to be afraid of, that this is a beautiful cycle in time. And as we honor the cycles of time, this is when we can really embrace and we can really expand who we are, and we can really grow and step into the roles that we're playing, the jobs that we're playing, the relationships that we're evolving and learning through. But it takes that conscious, surrendered optimism, and that we don't need to control it all. We don't need to worry about every single last detail, that the more we actually step back and expand into surrendered optimism, we can allow the cycle that is here, that is meeting us right in this moment, we can allow this cycle to unfold. So the invitation today in this moment is to really truly consider your connection with time and the cycles of time. And can you see time and all cycles, every cycle you've experienced up until this moment, the current cycle you're on, and all the cycles yet to come? Can you see them all for the beauty that they are, that they've all brought you here, they're keeping you here, and they're going to continue to evolve you to wherever you are in your path. So may we really enjoy the process, the gift of these cycles that we're given with every breath we take, that we're given with every day. We have the gift to be on this planet. The cycles of life, they're so, so beautiful. Namaste.